Two-day hearing on whether Georgia District Attorney Fani Willis should be dismissed from former President Trump's election interference case also wrapped up on Friday. Fani Willis did not take the stand Friday after explosive testimony on Thursday. She is facing possible disqualification from the election interference case. At issue whether there was an improper financial relationship between Willis and her former romantic partner and top prosecutor Nathan Wade. Joining us for a closer look at all the Trump legal developments is federal criminal defense attorney Ronald Chapman. Thank you for joining us tonight on the debrief. So to start off with, there's that March 25th date for the hush money trial. Trump's lawyers calling the legal maneuvers election interference. Is there any legal basis to that?
Well, I think they do have a point in the sense that we are used to, in the defense community, moving trials for a whole host of reasons. Somebody has a surgery scheduled, they have maternity or paternity leave, other personal family issues, or even other trials to attend. We're used to moving trials. In this case, for Donald Trump, he doesn't get that same benefit. Now, there are arguments on both sides to that, but certainly there is some credit to the argument that this election and the front runner going in front of a jury and spending his time there will absolutely impact an election, and everybody knows it. That being said, technical election interference, I don't think so, and it is legal what's going on.
And there are questions about, to that point, how he can campaign when he's required to be in court. But Trump has showed up in court even when he's not been required. What do you think is the strategy in doing that?
Well, I think this goes to more politics than law. I mean, some lawyers would say you really want to show up in court so that the jury can see you there, the judge can see that you're taking the issue seriously. But the reality is he's in court on choice days because that's where the cameras are, and that's where he will be able to stand up and make remarks after that court appearance to try to spin the result in a way that may be more favorable to him in the election. So I think he'll show up as much as he can. He will be in the courtroom for this trial, and that will certainly impact his ability to go out on the campaign trail.
And we have seen that these charges really haven't affected poll numbers all too much, so it'll be interesting to see if that continues to be the case. Now, I want to look at the Fani Willis case. Really explosive testimony, really interesting couple days in court there here in Atlanta. If she is removed, the case will go ahead with another prosecutor. How could that impact the election interference case overall?
A significant impact. So let's remember that the Georgia case is a state case against Donald Trump. He's obviously facing another one in New York, but that case isn't as solid as this Georgia case. And so if we have a prosecutor who's kicked out of the case, that is a potential win for Donald Trump, and here's why. Fani Willis wanted to take this case forward. This is her case. This is her baby. But when they decide to hand it off to another prosecutor, the question is, who is going to want to inherit that case? Is the governor going to be able to appoint somebody, or is somebody going to stand up and voluntarily take a case against Donald Trump that has so many issues now that Fani Willis and other members of her family testified about this issue? So a significant role in Trump's direction as a result of Fani Willis's testimony.
Well, he even had some testimony where another lawyer she wanted to join the team said he rejected her offer because he just didn't want to get involved in all the fanfare that's been created there. Now, even if Fani Willis stays on this case, has the damage been done as far as the jury pool is concerned? Do you think that all of this has just damaged her reputation beyond repair?
Yes, absolutely. And unfortunately, this should have been a very clean case. But what happened was a motion was filed, and then there were affidavits that were submitted and testimony that was raised related to the timing of this alleged relationship. And it's usually not the act that gets you in criminal law, it's the cover up. And here, it does appear that the dates of the affair or relationship, however you want to call it, were different when they came out in court from what originally was included in those affidavits. And we've got some problems there. We have the appearance of impropriety, and that essentially will reflect poorly on that office and the decisions they've made in this prosecution. So what was a very minor issue now has snowballed into a big, big problem for this case.
And certainly going to have possible big implications on this case because, as you said, this was maybe more solid than the New York case against the former president. Now, Trump's campaign still raking in donations, but he is spending tens of millions of dollars undoubtedly on legal costs. Can he legally use campaign funds for any of that?
That is a really good question, and I don't want to end up giving out any legal advice over the air here. But what I will say is bonds have to be posted by Donald Trump, which means that he's going to have to pay a portion of these legal fees for the civil case, the civil sexual assault case that he was involved in, as well as this other judgment in New York. The bonds will be significant. Now, I understand in recent news that there's a sneaker line being talked about and other efforts. I don't think he's going to use campaign funding, particularly because some of the issues with the New York case and the Stormy Daniels issues. But that being said, I think that people are willing to reach out and help Donald Trump. I think given his net worth in the affidavits he filed in New York, he's going to have no problem paying those bonds.
We got to have you back to discuss the sneaker line, but we don't have time for that tonight. Federal criminal defense attorney Ronald Chapman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.